Welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue on with Excel, and we're going to look at a very powerful thing you can do, which is called the use of functions. And specifically, we're going to look at how to use conditions. Conditions are going to make your spreadsheets turn a little bit more live, because now inside of a single cell, like this square here, I can change the number and do something like this, 222, and it actually changes what it shows. So the contents of one cell can affect what's presented in another cell. So let's take a look at how this condition statement works in Excel. It's not that bad once you've done a few. Hopefully you'll find these easy and useful to use in your spreadsheets. So here we go. I've set this one up already to do a little big number, small number thing. So big numbers have to be bigger than 100, okay? Not equal to 100, but larger. You can see here it works. If I type 222, it's big. If I type 77, it's considered small. If I type 100, that's still considered small, right? It has to be bigger than 100. How did I get this to work? Well, here's the conditional statement in Excel. It looks like this. You start out by typing the equal sign, and you say equals if, and if is basically just asking a question. And then there's three parts. You put a condition that you want to test, and this condition has to either come out to be true, or this condition is going to be false. So just like when we look at this one here, this number is either bigger than 100 or it is not bigger than 100. It's very clear cut. So what you do is, if the condition tests out to be true, you put what you'd like to show up in the box here. You put a comma and put a little bit here. And if the condition happens to be false, then it's going to put whatever you put here. Let's see how this actually looks in the equation here. And so that's my actual equation for this cell. You can see here I'm asking if B4, so B4, you can see it highlighted in blue here, that was where I typed my number, and I'm testing if it's bigger than 100. That's the larger than symbol. So you do have to know your 2-3 symbols for a math class for this. So if B4 is bigger than 100, that's the logical test. Comma, what do you do if it's true? Well, if it's true, this time I want to put a word into the cell. You put words in quotation marks, so I put big. Comma, what do you do if it's false? Well, if it's not bigger than 100, I want to write the word small. Not too bad, right? So if you actually go to type this one out, let me pop to another spreadsheet here and actually type this one out here. Just a little sample here. These are student grades, and I want to write pass or fail. And so what I do here is I go equals, if, and the question I want to ask is about the grade. Now there's two ways you could do it. You could say, if they have a high enough mark, I write pass, otherwise I write fail. Or you could say, if they have a failing mark, write fail, otherwise pass them. So there's always two ways to look at this. I'm going to do the one where I check if they pass. So if A4, and I look and yeah, that's the right square that's being highlighted, is greater or equal to 50. So that's how you do greater or equal to a value. So if it's greater or equal to 50, comma, what do I want to do if it's true? I want to write the word pass. Now I can add another comma, value if false. Well, if it's false, not very nice, we would give them a fail. Close off the bracket there, and that's it. Hit enter. And that's your equation. Notice that when you do enter these, I shouldn't say equation, it's a function. Notice when you use these functions, the function bar right here always shows you what you've typed. So it's saying pass, but there's the function. If you do want to edit, that's a good place to go and change it around, right? If you want to do the edits up there. Now, do I have to retype this for all the other squares? No. You guys know a little bit from before. The little handle here, you can click, drag down, let go, and you'll see like magic, it's changed the A4 that we used to have into A5, A6, etc., A7. Okay, it goes and does that automatically unless you tell it not to, which will come up in a future video. So that's one simple example of the condition statement.